Well, the other big story today has been the CBI's second charge sheet in the Ishrat Jahan fake encounter case, where serving intelligence officials have been named in that charge sheet today, accused of conspiracy and wrongful confinement, while a senior retired officer has been charged with murder. The charge sheet has come after a long tussle between the Intelligence Bureau and the CBI over whether the investigating agency has the sanction to prosecute and concerns that this could set a disturbing new trend. Jay Narayan Vyas, spokesperson of the BJP, joins us from Ahmedabad tonight. We have A.V. Karnik, former Deputy Director of the IB, and Javed Anand, well-known activist, joining us tonight from Mumbai. Mr. Karnik, to you first. Sir, you have in the past expressed concerns that this would set a bad precedent. Today we have 3 serving officials of the IB who have been named in this charge sheet. Interestingly, the charge sheet doesn't talk about a motive. That is one of the big question marks in it. How would you react to this, sir? Do you really believe that this sets a bad precedent, or that if there has been wrongdoing, even intelligence officers should be held accountable?
No, there is definitely a wrong precedent here, because I don't find any motive in 4 IB officers joining hands with Gujarat police officers to kill somebody. I mean, what do they gain thereby really? That is not really spelt out. That is my major objection or major reservation about this investigation. And why by precedent is that, this kind of thing happens to IB officers, irrespective of what each officer has done. IB as an organization suffers because nobody is going to do anything which has any smell of illegality or inappropriate measures and things like that, which I won't like to explain to it, but involves this kind of work in IB or any intelligence agency all over the world. So if you are going to prosecute people for doing their national duty and national security is being protected by them, and you turn around and prosecute them for their activities, it's going to set a bad precedent and demoralize the IB officers.
Javed Anand, you would argue though that if a wrongdoing has been done, it's not a question of demoralizing officers, but a question of justice and following the rule of law.
I find Mr. Karnik's argument truly strange. It is kind of talking about immunity and impunity in all and every kind of circumstance. What are we talking about in the context? Why the CBI has not spelled out the motive in its charge sheet is for the CBI to answer. But there is, for example, the statement of Mr. G. Singhal, police officer, and his reader, Mr. Goswami, talking about Mr. Rajendra Kumar being part of the story of the extrajudicial murder of Ishrat Jahan and 3 others. Now, if they are involved in that, if according to that statement, Mr. Singhal's statement made before the police, Mr. Goswami's statement made before a magistrate, mind you, which is admissible evidence in court, implicating him, moreover saying that he's provided guns for those extrajudicial murders, is Mr. Karnik suggesting that these people should still be allowed to go in the national, quote-unquote, national interest? I do not understand.
Mr. Karnik?
No, I'll respond to that. What I'm saying is that it is necessary for the CBI to check with the IB whether whatever they were doing, whether in the course of their duty assigned by the IB, or was it outside their duty. If it is outside their duty, they should be prosecuted, and really whatever punishment they deserve should be given to them. But all that I'm asking is that what way they're doing should be ascertained from the IB director.
Jay Narayan Vyas, the BJP's reaction to this tonight, at the end of the day, what would the BJP say? The fact that there is no motive, as Javed Anand argues, is something for the CBI to determine. But do you still maintain that this is completely politically motivated? At the end of the day, the investigating agency, which is the premier investigating agency, has seen it fit to charge sheet serving officers, which is unprecedented. There must be a reason for it.
Well, I would only like to say that they tried their level best to implicate the political functionaries in the state, and one way or the other
but
bring in the state government's commissions and omissions, in which they have not succeeded. Now, having said this, no, that is what I am trying to say, that they have not found any ground to implicate Mr. Amit Shah. But having done that, I would fully side with Mr. Karnik. The cardinal principle of jurisprudence is there is a principle called mens rea. If somebody does something intentionally and in full knowledge of it with a particular intention to do that, then only it becomes a crime. A normal IB officer, if you are going to implicate them like this, and disregard their immunities and try to put them in this kind of a situation. You know, the entire country, it has several problems of internal and external security, and if the basic instrument through which you get the security inputs gets paralyzed, I think this is absolutely a very dangerous thing as far as the country is concerned. So I think this is going to be a big demoralizer for the officers of the Intelligence Bureau, and if at all they wanted, the views of the director of IB should have been called for, and that should have weighed. The CBI should not have gone into this affair entirely of their own. So I would say that this is something.
Mr. Vyas, if they have found wrongdoing, if they have found evidence that there has been a conspiracy, but Mr. Vyas, if they have found evidence of murder and conspiracy, surely even intelligence officials should not be above the law. In principle, you would agree.
No, then why don't you spell it out? Where is the mens rea spelled out?
Well, there's going to be a trial.
If you are so sure, if you are so confident, you must spell out in your charge sheet, so that any accused has right to know about the exact charges and the grounds on which these charges are being levied on him, so that he can defend himself. It is being unfair to the accused that you don't spell out the mens rea, you don't spell out the intentions, and you hold him guilty. I think this is never done in a law, and it will not. It is bad in law, and it will not stand in the court.
Well, this is the same CBI that has not charge sheeted Amit Shah, because if it had, you would have accused them of a political vendetta, and they haven't. They haven't found evidence, so they haven't done anything. Do you still think they're being unfair and vindictive?
No, I am not saying that. I am saying they should have been precise. I am saying they should have spelled out the mens rea, they should have spelled out the reason and the intention behind the wrongdoing by Mr. Rajendra Kumar and his team, and specifically mention the reasons, which is nowhere there.
Okay, Javed Anand wants to come in. Yes, Mr. Anand.
Well, I am not an expert in law like or a police officer like Mr. Karnik or Mr. Vyas, but I have a question. If A gets murdered and B and C are witnesses to that murder committed by D, has the murder taken place or not? Now, if there is Mr. Goswami and there is Mr. Singhal talking about this conversation that happened, and which is tape recorded incidentally, which is part of the evidence. Mr. Goswami is kind of has made a statement before a magistrate, which is evidence. What more do they want? I mean, what the CBI wants, perhaps is doing or not doing, perhaps is best explained by Mukul Sinha's allegation against the CBI a month back, that the Supreme Court last year had called the CBI a caged parrot in the context of the Congress party. His allegation is that the parrot is now apparently changing its cage, if you know what he means.
Yes.
So that is perhaps where the answer lies.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Karnik.
Yeah, Nidhi, I would like to explain one thing. The statements given by Singhal and some other officers, they have yet to be accepted in the court of law as genuine, really speaking. So we don't jump into a conclusion based on this kind of statement.
You're right.
What I am saying is that the court will have to decide whether these officers need protection from the Home Ministry under Article 197 of CRPC, whether they were doing something in the course of their duty or they were doing something outside the course of duty. If the Home Ministry comes to the conclusion that they acted outside their normal duty, they can be prosecuted. If not, Home Ministry's sanction would be necessary.
So may I understand what that means? If a fake encounter takes place, a murder takes place, how is that done within the course of duty, if that has indeed happened? I just want to understand what you mean.
I'll tell you. It is not as if Rajendra Kumar pulled the trigger. He may be present there, something had happened there, he was asked by the IB to be present, and this is a presumption, not knowledge. He could be asked by the IB, or his duty required him to be there. Just because he was there, he doesn't become party to the murder. These kind of explanations could be offered by the IB, Director IB, to the Home Ministry, and the Home Ministry can come to that conclusion whether these people need to be prosecuted. That is the defense available to every government official when he is doing some duty, whether what he has done is a course of duty, is justified, or has he acted beyond the course of duty. That has to be decided by his department, and the Home Ministry is the department controlling IB. So it is the Home Minister's decision that has to be awaited.
Javed Anand, you would concede though that it has been a rather ugly tussle between the Premier Investigating Agency and the Home Ministry, which has backed its IB officers all the way. There is a certain system and a certain rule of law that also has to be followed as far as prosecution of officers are concerned. That is the point I think that Mr. Karnik is making.
I think the officers in this country and the government servants have just far too much protection, and they get away literally with murder, you know. The Supreme Court years back has talked about criminals in uniform. I mean, here is the case, there's tape recorded evidence, there's a statement made before a magistrate's court that Mr. Rajendra Kumar is asking Vanjara, have you sought the permission of the Kali Dadhi, meaning Amit Shah, and the Safed Dadhi, meaning Narendra Modi, and he says yes. This is a statement made there. Now, I think Mr. Karnik would agree the statement, the very relevant statement made by the Supreme Court appointed amicus curiae, Mr. Raju Ramachandran, in the Zakia Jafri case, which itself is a separate case, entirely separate case, of course. He said, what is the job of, his point was, what is the job of an investigating agency? Has it found in the course of its investigation credible prima facie evidence? If the answer is yes, charge sheet is called for. Whether the evidence is sufficient for conviction is for a court to decide, not to this thing. Unfortunately, the SIT in the Zakia Jafri case and CBI in this case is acting not merely as an investigating agency but the trial court as well. I believe there is prima facie evidence against Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Narendra Modi as well as contained in the statement before the magistrate.
But the same investigating agency hasn't found that, and I think that's an important point to make as well. I have to leave it at that tonight. Thank you to all of you for joining us this evening on what continues to be a highly controversial and politically charged story. That's it on the show this evening. Do join us again tomorrow.